All right. So I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. Actually, yeah, you have, because I know a couple of people I've talked to this about. So you may have noticed lately that at nighttime we're seeing these like weird lights, right? You might think that maybe they're just like, we all know that like before a star burns up and dies initially or falls, that it starts to twinkle, right? Because it's so hot, it's burning up. So you might think that what you're seeing is this. You also might think that what you're seeing is satellites or maybe a plane or whatever. But if you really watch, what you'll notice is that these blinking lights that you're seeing, they are blinking in a sporadic rhythm. So it's almost like they're dancing, like these lights are dancing. It's really, really weird. You'll also notice that they are not just blinking the same colors, okay? So one night you may see these and they are blinking like maybe turning from turquoise or a greenish color to red to amber to blue to white, different shades of blue, different shades of green, different shades of red, but they are blinking in all these different lights. Now, satellites are typically, you're going to see them in red, and typically you might see white with them, a little bit of blue maybe. Planes, you're going to see blue and red. So these lights are entirely different colors than what you would normally see. And logically, you're going to pass it off as that. But when you watch them, what you'll notice is that they may stay solid, like they'll be blinking and then they just stop and they stay solid as one color. You may notice that they suddenly just like whoop, disappear and they're gone. And then all of a sudden you see them blink again and they're in a different area. They may be in a different constellation. But in a different area. You may also see these where they're blinking and then it's like a boom, a really fast flash of light. You can watch these and they just go whoom, really fast, and then they're in this new spot. Sometimes it's like they disappear and they show up in a new spot, and other times it's you can actually see them moving and it's much, much faster than a plane. There's no mistaking about it. You can tell that it's not a plane when you see it. They are like light speed, just so fast you almost don't even notice that it's moved. It's very, very so anyway, you will notice how things that are changing in our world right now. We have a lot of people that are beginning to wake up, right, spiritually. We have so much corruption going on. You may have seen some reptilian or lizard-like features in some of your celebrities or in some of the government officials and things like that. You can look this up and actually see videos where people have slowed this down, and where people have thought like maybe they had seen like some kind of alien type of indication or something in like these celebrities or these government officials. The royal family is one that people have claimed to have seen this from, in their eyes especially, changing like from human looking to all of a sudden reptilian and then back to human, and it's just like in a blink of an eye. And people have slowed these clips down and and done this, and there's a lot of people that have been kind of talking about this stuff lately. Well, I thought maybe it was just me. A lot of people have been saying how these flashing lights, a lot of people are seeing these. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people seeing these. Most people are thinking like, oh, it's the aliens. The aliens are coming to visit us. But the thing is that the aliens have been among us forever. When you begin to understand the difference between the dimensions, so you have your 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D, right? And we go all the way up to, as far as what I know, 15D, okay? There's a 15 dimension here. The Earth itself right now, every single person on Earth right now is at least at a 3D. Okay, most people are kind of moving into 4D, and you have a few of those people that are already at 4D moving into 5D, right? And that's where you see a lot of this like 3D, 4D, 5D stuff. These dimensions are frequencies, so this is the vibrational frequency that people are in. Now, every 2,500 years, we move through basically a different energetic point, okay? So now if the world is at 3D and you look at how many chakras we have in the body and how this all works, 1D would have been your root chakra, right? We were already there. The earth was already at that point, at that chakra, that energy level, that vibration. And then you would move into 2D, which would be your sacral chakra. We already did that too. Now, our world is at least in a 3D. That is your solar plexus chakra. Okay, we're already there. But as I said, a lot of people are moving into that 4D. That 4D would be your heart chakra. Okay, so, and then so on and so on. So you just keep moving up into these dimensions, which are actually these energetic points too in the chakra system. Okay, so here you go, you have your chakra system, right? Here you have your root, you have your sacral, you have your solar, you have your heart, okay, your throat, here you have your third eye, your crown, all that stuff. So it all goes up one by one. Now that's only a 7 chakra one, but there are so many more than that. Those are the main ones that, you know, if you're familiar with Reiki or whatever, that's the main ones that most people are gonna learn about. Anyway, so what I had noticed, a couple of things, was that Kundalini is becoming extremely popular. But you look at the symbol of Kundalini, okay? The symbol of Kundalini is that of a reptilian species. Okay, it didn't dawn on me at first, but there was something about the Kundalini symbol that it was throwing me off a little bit. I couldn't figure out why it was, or what it was that, you know, what the connection was there. And it kind of came to me earlier today when I saw another symbol of the Kundalini, and then it's like, wait, that's the symbol for for reptilian too. It's the same thing. Very interesting. So then I started researching a little bit on what my thoughts were with these flashing lights. See, I don't believe that these flashing lights are new aliens coming. I don't. I believe they are reptilian forces. We're at a spiritual war right now. And looking at this, the reptilians typically will come from the Orion constellation. And if you look closely at the sky when you're seeing these blinking lights, where do you see them the most? Right around the Orion constellation. That's where I'm seeing them the most. They are either right around it or they're within that constellation. On the belt sometimes. If you know what Orion looks like, it's like a man. You got his 2 arms, you've got his 2 legs, and then you've got this belt. I have seen these blinking lights mainly within the Orion constellation or very, very close to it. This kind of gave me this assumption that maybe these alien species were actually these reptilian starseeds, and because we are right now on Earth ruled by the reptilian starseeds, and we are at this spiritual war where there's so many other starseeds waking up. You have your Andromedans, your Lyrans, your Sirians, your Arcturians, your Pleiadians. I mean, we're all here right now. And all of us have this job to do. But humans are actually being ruled right now by our reptilians. Look at our government. Okay, I mean, enough said, right? And pretty much you look at these people in power in any given country around the world, and I mean, it's almost just completely prevalent. There's no question about it that they are reptilian species. Most of them would be considered Luciferian, okay? These Luciferians are reptilian species they're evil they're on the bad end, okay? You can have good reptilians too. So the thing that I found interesting with the connection between the reptilians and Kundalini and that symbol was that Kundalini is it's a frequency of 1-dimensional to a 9-dimensional, okay? And your reptilians will typically vibrate at a 9D to 11D frequency, 9 to 11. So you have all these people waking up right now and interested in Kundalini. This leads me to believe that these people are actually somewhat of a reptilian starseed, but using Kundalini as a weapon, so to speak, against those Luciferian reptilians, so against those bad ones. So people like to think that all reptilians are these bad starseeds, and they're really not. There's good ones, there's bad ones. You have that with every starseed species there is. You have, that's just, there's good and bad to everything. You have your good apples and your bad apples, and we're all thrown into one basket. So anyway, there's 3 stages of this, like, Kundalini awakening, basically. So you have Kundalini, which is the one that everybody talks about. It's the one that everybody is drawn to. Everybody wants to do Kundalini. Everybody, and those that are drawn to it the most, I am led to actually believe that they are a reptilian starseed species, but they're put here actually to fight against the evil. Not that they are evil, but they're fighting against it. And so they have this Kundalini spiritual awakening, and they feel so drawn to this Kundalini because that symbol is home. That symbol brings them feeling closer to home, because of that reptilian origin that they have. So there's the three stages, right? So you have Kundalini, which is from 1D to 9D. That's huge. That's the biggest one you're going to see. But you'll see some people that will move beyond that. They'll go into what is called Kirasha, okay? And that is your next frequency of that Kundalini. So that you would find that in a 10D vibration. And after that, there's Kundare. Okay, Kundare is the highest vibration with the reptilians, and so that would be a vibration at 11. So all of these people that you see that are so incredibly drawn to Kundalini, which I do suspect most of them are a reptilian starseed, they are having this Kundalini awakening, and they are engaging so much into this Kundalini and so drawn to it because their job here is to fight against that Luciferian reptilian starseed, and so that evil part of it, and that is what their job is here to do. And this Kundalini they're drawn to that because of that symbolism. So that was a connection that it came to me today, which was really, and what further kind of made me feel like there was truth to this was not only because I came across many people that are studying. I mean, they're very, very in depth into this, like way more than me. They were talking about things that, it was just blow my mind, and it was just beyond any knowledge that I had. I had never even heard of any of this, and I was listening to what they were saying, but it was all adding up to what I thought. They just had a whole lot more information to give than what I do. But another thing that had kind of led me to believe that there was truth behind this, other than hearing it from some of these professionals that talk about this stuff. I mean, this is how they make their living. This is what they know. This is what they do. Is to spread this truth. Was that reptilians, some of their biggest tools that they use is moon energy, AI, artificial intelligence, satellites, monitoring systems, all of that kind of stuff. And look at what we have going on in our world right now. Seriously, there's no reality. Everything is media based. phones are tapped into so they can hear what you're saying. They know what you think. Your phones know what you think, you know. It's insane. There's satellites all over. I mean, they're in the skies continuously. You have your 5G towers. Everything is tracking, monitoring every movement that we make. Artificial intelligence everywhere. We have vacuum cleaners that are robots, for God's sakes. Our cars are driving themselves, okay? It's insane. So all of these are tools, these are weapons that the reptilian species is using to try and, gain this power over the human race. But there's so many of these other starseeds. We all chose to come here to battle against this force, okay? We all came here to battle against this force. We signed our contract. We are here now. And we have different levels. So starseeds come, as a level 1, as a level 2, as a level 3. So those that have just started on their awakening path and maybe are just now hearing about starseeds and whatnot and starting to feel like, hey, maybe I'm a little different. Most of the time, these are going to be your younger kids, younger generations. So these people are typically a third level starseed, okay? They're just starting out. You have your first level starseeds. These are the ones that have been here for a long time. So think you're super wise grandparents or great grandparents. They may not even be here anymore. But most of your second level starseeds would have come somewhere, between the 70s and maybe the 90s-ish or so. Don't quote me on dates, but you get the drift here. You've got your 3 different levels of starseeds. Your level 1s, these are the ones that they've been here, they've lived it, they've already fought against this, they've moved us up from being in, a past energy system. So from the root or the sacral or whatever, they were here during that time and they kind of moved up into that. They battled and they got us moved through that area. And so the ones that are here now, we are all a level 1, 2, or 3, but we're put in here to work together, to use our gifts. We have different gifts at these different levels, and we're brought here to use those gifts to help battle against this Luciferian reptilian race that's trying to take over Earth and take over humanity, and take over everything that we know, and gain that power over everything and everyone. And so all of us starseeds, those other races of starseeds, are here to try to. That's our job, is to do battle and use these gifts, and then so it's figuring out what starseed origin you are. That can help you figure out what you're here to do. But remember that there's you may be a Pleiadian starseed, but there's so many different jobs stemming off of that, okay? So you need to figure out what that is in order to know how to move forward, or just, and a lot of times it will just come to you during the spiritual awakening. That's why we have these. So, for instance, Andromedans, okay? Andromedans will typically vibrate between a 7D and a 12D. Okay, so, and they come from that Andromedan galaxy. It's a neighbor here, but it's a neighboring galaxy to Earth, but it's not just Andromeda. Okay, it's a shared galaxy with Lyrians, Sirian, Arcturian, Pleiadians. We share it with all of them. And the thing is that the thing with Andromedans is they tend to be very, very empathetic. They tend to be very non-judgmental. They want equality because they don't home to them. There's no ladder system. nobody is more powerful than somebody else. Everybody is equal. Everybody is just here to lend a helping hand, to love each other, to help each other out. It's like, just, there's this perfect balance. There's no underdog, and there's no people in power. Everything is a balance. And so Andromedans tend to, when they come here on Earth, these Andromedan starseeds tend to do that. They want balance, but they are here to actually battle against these reptilians, the bad reptilians, not the good ones, the bad ones, but they're here to battle against them to try and bring that balance. So these good reptilians, these Kundalini reptilians, they're here to battle against them, to try to basically reprogram these Luciferian reptilians. So to try and change their thought process, to get them to feel love and acceptance and balance, and to kind of change them from these evil bad ways to good ways. And so it's a really interesting concept, but with these flashing lights and everything that you're seeing in the sky, and the fact that they're coming from near Orion like this, really has led me to believe that there's a connection, that those are actually reptilians, coming down, keeping watch on things, making sure that things are still in order and they've still got the upper hand in the power. And at the same time, that connection between that Kundalini symbol leads me to believe that there are both these good and these bad Kundalinis, which makes sense, because in order to have light, you have to have dark. There's that yin and that yang, like you have to have both of that. You have to have, in order to balance it out. There's the masculine, there's the feminine, there's the good and the evil, like the positive and the negative. Like it is all a balance, and you can't have just one without the other. You have to have them both. And so, of course, if you have these evil Luciferian reptilians, and also like the Anunnakis, so it's another race that was here before the reptilians, basically did the same thing, started this division among all of these starseed races and the human races and all of this, and just started this whole division that we are living in right now. And the reptilians just kind of took it and ran with it. They're like, oh, look how easy it is to gain all this power, let's do this. And so they did. And I believe that because all these other races of starseeds are more kind of at an equal level. I mean, I guess I can't really speak for all of them, but for an Andromedan, I can speak for that. I do feel like because they see everything equality, they maybe didn't see that all of this was coming until here it is, right in your face. So that, because there's that good and that bad, and that Kundalini symbol is a symbol that is traced back to that reptilian species, then obviously, and that's a life force energy, right? So the fact that people are waking up and having these like Kundalini awakenings, it kind of only makes sense that there's got to be good reptilian starseeds out there that are using this Kundalini that are accessing this Kundalini to fight in this spiritual war against those Luciferian reptilians. It only makes sense to me. And literally, maybe it only makes sense to me. I don't know. But tell me what you think. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Do you have any additional information that you would like to share? Have you had any downloads or anything about this? I would like to hear about it. I periodically here and there, start looking into starseeds and things like that, because it is intriguing to me. But I also I have that Andromedan mindset where I knowledge is everything to me, and I want to know as much as I can, and sometimes that becomes a problem because I touch on so many different topics and I never really extend on one enough to become an expert in it. I'm going go all the time. It's kind of a blessing and a curse, you know. I can tell you a whole lot. I can tell you a whole lot of nothing, basically. I can tell you lots of basics and a lot of different topics and some crazy random facts here and there along the way, you know, but I can't really call myself an expert in anything. So it's something I'm working on. Anyway, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this whole, these flashy lights and the location of them, what you think they are, starseed races. What do you feel like as far as the connection between the reptilian and the kundalini? You know, do you feel like there are good reptilians and also the bad reptilians, or do you feel like they're all bad or all good? You know, you tell me. What do you feel? I want to know. So till next time, that's it.